The Chief Scientist of Australia, 2006, confirming in writing that the only dependable sources of baseload power were fossil fuels and nuclear energy. He was very strong on the nuclear front.
Well, these are facts, and I haven't seen in the years that have gone by any evidence to alter that piece of advice. And even the most strident advocates of climate alarmism now will acknowledge that you can't guarantee that the sun will always shine and the wind will always blow.
Look, we could talk all night, but finally China. You call your chapter the China Dilemma. What is the dilemma?
Well, the dilemma is that China is both a disturbance in our region and a potential threat, but also a highly valued economic partner. I said earlier that 1.4 million Australians are of Chinese descent. I also said that Chinese is the most widely spoken foreign language. It's a great export destination. It's an undeniable fact that the global financial crisis did not affect Australia as much as it might have because of our wonderful export trade with China. But China is a communist dictatorship. You don't have much freedom in China if you kick against the traces. It's a world away from the sort of country we are. And the leadership at the moment is far more aggressive than it was 20 years ago. It's always been a dictatorship since Mao took over. And Mao was no inspirational leader. He's greatly forward and so forth.
But you did express great hope in the book when you'd met the then president of China.
Look, there was a different attitude then.
Jiang Zemin.
Jiang Zemin. The attitude then was, despite our differences, we could cooperate where our interests coincide.
And he loved Beethoven and Chopin.
Oh yes, he was in many respects the most interesting world leader I met. His knowledge of Shakespeare.
Yes.
He would test my wife, who taught Shakespeare in her teaching years.
And at the formal dinner, he ended it with Auld Lang Syne.
That's right. And I asked him what it was. Why did he do that? He said, "Oh, remember that great movie called Waterloo Bridge? They played it at a sentimental time." And I thought, golly, this bloke knows a bit about the genre.
All right. Now, a brilliant exposition, by the way, John Howard, on Taiwan. Just a summary there of your views about Taiwan. I mean, the perception is that in the public, Taiwan eventually will have to be absorbed by China because China always had a proprietorial control over Taiwan. That's a myth, isn't it?
Taiwan was controlled by Japan between 1895 and 1945.
That's it.
And that was part of the settlement coming out of the Sino-Japanese War at the end of the 18th century, end of the 19th century. So that's wrong. And a respected poll by the Pew Research Institute found that 66% of Taiwanese people regarded themselves as Taiwanese, and only a small percentage, less than 10, regarded themselves as Chinese, and the rest regarded themselves as both. So that says to me that there's a strong streak of independence in Taiwan. But despite that, the Americans, to their great credit, have always encouraged the Taiwanese not to rock the boat, to sort of try and coexist with the mainland. And it's the mainlanders, it's Beijing that's changed the tune, not the Taiwanese.
But you make